A Ghost of Tsushima 2 reveal is coming very soon. We got leaks about a big upcoming Ubisoft game. There was actually a lot of good news this week. So thanks for joining. I collected all the important stories, so let's go. There's a demo coming for the upcoming action RPG Steller Blade, or actually it already released for a brief moment before Sony quickly removed it. And now even if you were on time and did download it, you cannot access it anymore. Luckily, PlayStation Game Sites got his hands on it and has been super positive about it, praising the game's performance, like there are 3 different modes, but also the soundtrack, epic boss fights, amazing combat, skill trees, and enemy variety. And if you complete the linear story section, there's also a boss challenge where you can see what the game is like later on in the game. He died 8 times against that boss, like it's clearly more a Souls-like than I first expected. Getting a lot of Jedi Survivor vibes in terms of structure as well. So totally interesting. I want to try this demo as well, but we have no word on when it will be available again. The game is out on April 26th, so there's still time. Like, you would think Sony wants to focus on Rise of the Ronin first and then, like, put the spotlight on Steller Blade. So I think it will be a few weeks from now. Let me know, of course, if you want to play the demo, and I will keep you posted when it becomes available again. We got leaked info on the next Recon game, codenamed Over. Insider Gaming got the scoop saying that the game is aimed to be released in 2025-2026, which is likely their financial year, so that would be between April 2025 and March 2026. But this big because it's heading back into a first-person perspective, so similar to the advanced Warfighter games. And Deep on YouTube recently showed a first-person mod for Ghost Recon Breakpoint on PC that looks pretty awesome. So this already gives us an idea of what this next game will probably look like, although it should be graphically way more impressive than the predecessors. Also, of course, because it only has to run on PS5 and Xbox Series and not on the old consoles anymore. And while I overall prefer a third-person perspective, people overall do seem to be hyped about this mod. So going back to first-person might actually be a smart move from Ubisoft. They actually already wanted to do this with the Frontline Battle Royale game, but that has since been cancelled. So this next mainline title will be set during the Naiman War, which is located in a hostile southeast country that has seen hundreds of thousands of people die as a result of war crimes. And we as the Ghost have to infiltrate the war zone and carry out secret missions and locate a traitor. And Ready or Not is mentioned as a game that might look like similar graphically. That's a shooter that launched in December 2023. And the game should also overall take a lot of inspiration from the Modern Warfare series, including potential controversial scenes like we saw in those campaigns. Ghost Recon needs a fresh wind, and it seems like it's getting it. Let me know if this sounds appealing to you. But yeah, that's one less third-person shooter versus the enormous amount of first-person ones. Would be awesome if Ubisoft brought back Watch Dogs, for example. Well, we at least learned that a Watch Dogs movie seems to be coming, starring Sophie Wilde from Talk to Me, and that's according to Deadline. Almost every major video game property is getting a movie or TV show adaptation, which of course does not mean that a new game or anything is happening, but it does show that Ubisoft still thinks about the franchise. Right now, Ubisoft is focused on establishing their biggest franchises like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six, and Ghost Recon, and also the Division for the future. So by releasing big platforms like Assassin's Creed Infinity and also multiplayer games that can be played for a long time. So if this strategy is successful, I can totally see them revisit the series with hopefully a reboot more in the darker style of the first game, but with the gameplay and fun ideas of the sequel. Like the Bloodline DLC for Legion really showed that a more character-focused narrative works best for the series. So I really hope we see more games in the franchise, although it will likely be a while. Seems like at least we got a movie before that. And as you might know, Ghost of Tsushima is getting a movie as well from the John Wick director. Let's talk about other news regarding that franchise. We got some Hogwarts Legacy stuff. Of course, if you like the video so far, leaving a like would really help me out. So thanks for that. And subscribe because I post one of these gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. Yes, as we already discussed in last week's news roundup, Ghost of Tsushima for PC has indeed been announced. It's coming May 16th and it's being worked on by Sony's PC port studio Nixxes and has everything you expect from a modern Sony PC port. Like ultra-wide monitor support for 21:9, 32:9 and even 48:9 resolutions, which like a 3-monitor setup crazy if you got that. They have the relevant upscaling technologies, uncapped frame rate, PC and mouse support, or you can use the DualSense with haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. And this is the director's cut, so it includes the Icky Island DLC you can access midway through the game, although it's probably smarter to do it like an endgame experience. And the full Legends multiplayer is also included, and I really hope it breathes new life into this fantastic 2-player and 4-player co-op mode. It's $60, let me know if you're getting it or playing it for the first time in the comments. And well, the Twitter account Silk Knight, who was the first person to tease that the PC port for Ghost of Tsushima would happen in the coming days, this was on February 27th, also notes that Sony plans to unveil the exclusive sequel for PS5 at a mid-year event. Last year we had a PlayStation showcase on May 24th, so that would be this year, a week after the Ghost PC launch. Coincidence? I don't think so, but yeah, this Twitter account is interesting because scrolling back, they had some other things right as well. So let's look at a few other things they said. Of course, take it with a grain of salt, but I still think it's interesting. For one, they note that Starfield will be announced for PS5 with a release between November and December of this year. Of course, we know about other Xbox games coming to the console very soon, so it makes sense that more will follow. And already this year, I think, makes sense as well. We will see. There's more than one project related to God of War, even outside of Sony Santa Monica, which could totally be related to like a remaster or remake of the older titles or something else. A Last of Us Part 2 for PC release is very close. And that also makes sense because Part 1 for PC was released pretty quickly after the PS5 port. Again, these could totally be educated guesses. I will be keeping an eye out, like the very close part for Last of Us Part 2. If that happens, then we got something here. We'll let you know if more things turn out to be true. We at least know for a fact that in the summer we will get a Hogwarts Legacy update and that the PlayStation exclusive quest will then be coming to other platforms as well. But when this was announced, it was also said that this patch would include additional updates and features for the game. So a lot of people have been speculating what this could mean, with imaginations of course running wild. I always said that we really should not expect a lot, especially because they did not say that we would get new content. And well, now Warner has managed people's expectations, saying that will be a small way of us showing appreciation to our players. Like, I think if they add New Game Plus, that's already a lot. So I'm going in with zero expectations. Maybe the biggest feature we get is that we can have it snow again, something like that. At least if you are on Xbox and PC and probably Switch as well, you have a really cool mission to look forward to. Like the Hogwarts Legacy studio, Avalanche Software is probably already working on the sequel, but the question now is, will it be a live service? Maybe you already heard about this, but the Warner Bros. Gaming boss talked at a Morgan Stanley event, so basically they talked to investors about the future of their gaming business. Rather than just launching a one-and-done console game, how do we develop a game around, for example, a Hogwarts Legacy or Harry Potter, that is a live service where people can live and work and build and play in that world on an ongoing basis. Like him mentioning Hogwarts Legacy here is no coincidence, I think. And even if you would not want a multiplayer ongoing Harry Potter game, I do think you agree that a GTA Online style title where you go attend classes with friends, explore the school together, and also get big updates with new spells and locations added after launch has a ton of potential. So with the success of some of these live service games, Warner would actually be stupid to not at least try it with their big IPs. The problem is though that I don't think Warner has the right teams for this, and that is what we saw with Suicide Squad, that they once again said was a disappointment for the company. As you might know, I liked the story campaign of that game, and I totally think it's worth your time at like a $20 price tag or on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. The whole endgame loot grind though and the live service aspect is failing big time because Rocksteady has no experience in this space. This week we learned that Season 1 with the Joker is coming March 28th, which is way later than they probably wanted because they still have to fix some issues with the game. So this means that there's basically nothing happening for 2 months in a live service game after release. That's not great. So is Avalanche, after having made Hogwarts Legacy, Cars 3, Driven to Win, and Disney Infinity, like, are they ready ready for a GTA Online type project. Like, I think going to a different developer with the franchise and letting Avalanche help them would, I think, be the better tactic, while then Avalanche just makes another big single player game that goes on to sell 20 million again. Like, it is worth noting that while they want to focus more on free-to-play mobile and live service titles, it does not mean that they will stop making big single player AAA games. Again, they're talking about rather than just launching a one and done console game. And we also know that Wonder Woman is still coming, which will be like a single player open world RPG like Shadow of War. That game came out in 2017, by the way, and still no sign of a Wonder Woman release date. And Warner expects returns from their gaming business starting 2025, 2026 and 2027. So we will likely see Wonder Woman 2025 at the earliest. But yeah, it's a fact that for their 4 biggest franchises, Harry Potter, DC, Mortal Kombat and Game of Thrones, there are free-to-play, live service and mobile titles planned. Let's hope they just don't stop making the games that we actually want from their studios, that also are more successful than the live service games they've put out. This coming week is pretty exciting because on March 11th, so tomorrow, if you watch this on the Sunday it goes live on, I will have my first impressions up for Rise of the Ronin. I got an early code from Sony so I can share my thoughts, and then we will have the review and spoiler-free tips and tricks starting March 21st. So really exciting. This seems like a game right up my alley. Of course, open world, kind of Assassin's Creed meets Neo. But yeah, Neo was pretty hardcore, so I will be answering the difficulty question, of course, in my future videos. Also expect more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth content and some other fun videos with, of course, a big news roundup like this at the end of the week on Sunday. So subscribe to not miss it. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out my video on the big Spider-Man update, by the way, with a potential DLC tease by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.